This is a conch shell higher than the mountain, and with just a slight squint, even Ed Stafford dare not act rashly. However, Ling Tong cannot tolerate this anger, and when the conch shell opened its fangs to eat him, the one-strike battle god gun directly killed it. After accepting Chen Xian's task, Zhu Wuyan searched for several days in the wilderness, and several days of sleeping in the wind and eating outside directly allowed Ling Tong to take control of his mind. He also met Ed Stafford, who was surviving in the wilderness and was hiding from the pursuit of the conch shell behind a small hill. The conch shell, which covered the sky and the sun, was just a meal in Ling Tong's eyes, and he killed it instantly. Ed Stafford widened his eyes because he could not sense any cultivation aura from Ling Tong's body. The use of the battle garb of the war god even made Zhu Wuyan sober up. He looked at the conch shell in front of him in confusion, and a green bubble emerged from his mouth, which instantly erupted with a strong suction force, sucking the entire conch shell inside. And then he burped. Only then did he realize that the meat of the conch he just obtained had disappeared like this. Seeing this scene, Ed Stafford believed that this was definitely a conch shell that had lived for 100,000 years, and the green bubble was going to hatch a conch girl. At the same time, the bubble also changed from green to pink, and the two of them looked at the spectacle in front of them with anticipation. With the sound of the eggshell cracking, something was really about to come out, but the next second, they destroyed their own eyes and strangled themselves. Even if they died, they did not want to see this thing. Originally, when he came out, not only was he not a girl, but also a fat uncle. The key is that he dances without clothes, with a look of affection. Zhu Wuyan immediately wanted to take justice into his own hands and grabbed a hoe. But strangely, not only did he fail to harm him, but he was also hugged by the greasy uncle. "Master, I missed you so much." This astonishing touch made Zhu Wuyan, who had already been hungry for several days, vomit blood. What shocked him the most was that the attack automatically bypassed this person. After the uncle hugged Zhu Wuyan, he looked a little puzzled. This breath and feeling are not right. Although there is the laziness of a master, it is far from him. This is actually a dead pervert who imitates his master. He pushed Zhu Wuyan out again. Who is the pervert? It turns out that his master was chased by the spirit tribe for 3 days to make hot pot, and then he fell asleep on a conch shell and slept until now. So he asked, "What year is it now? Do you know where the spirit tribe is?" "Oh, elegant gentleman, it is now the Kanglin year. The spirit tribe you mentioned has already become a tomb." The uncle was struck by lightning. Damn it. Does that mean he has been sleeping naked for 100,000 years, and the powerful spirit tribe died too? Did they die together with my master? At the thought of this, he immediately got up. Even if the spirit tribe died and became a tomb, I will still avenge my master. Seeing that he wanted to run away, Zhu Wuyan immediately chased after him. "You stole my conch shell and want to run?" Ed Stafford watched with envy as the two of them flew away. Why are their bodies so strong? He wondered. He recalled the features of the two. Damn it. Does starving and not wearing clothes make you stronger? And so, a legend of a naked man in the wilderness was born. On the other side, Chen Daorang ate roasted meat while Luo Qingchen reminded him that they were very close to the tomb of the spirit clan, and roasting meat could easily attract attention. However, Chen Daorang was full of complaints. "It's okay, Sister Luo. You're already in the divine realm, 3rd grade. What are you afraid of? Could it be that there are still people coming to steal our barbecue in this wilderness?" It turned out that they were also sent by Chen Xian to take down the tomb of the spirit clan. However, Chen Xian invited Luo Qingchen to eat barbecue to help her advance to the divine realm. Seeing this, Chen Daorang couldn't help but feel envious and asked Chen Xian for some benefits. "Patriarch, I have been lacking fatherly love since I was young. Now you suddenly want me to embark on a long journey. Can't you give me some treasures like you did for junior sister, even if it's just a hair of yours? I can carry it with me to remember you." Under his strong request, Chen Xian had to give him a hair, not knowing that it was originally intended for Xian Heavy Ruler, but he couldn't resist Chen Daorang's emotional appeals. Suddenly, a voice came. "Oh no, little brother, please don't chase me anymore. I smell food. Can I make it up to you?" Chen Daorang was curious about the source of the voice. The ground under his butt suddenly rose up, and his buttocks tightened. A hoe hit its mark, and the pain was so excruciating that it tore at his heart. Zhu Wuyan and another person had followed the scent and arrived. They looked up and saw the roasted meat. Without a word, they grabbed and ate it. Chen Daorang, who was ambushed, clutched his buttocks in pain and lay on the ground. "Who are these robbers who dare to steal my barbecue?" The two of them looked embarrassed, but the movement of the mouth did not stop for a moment. Zhu Wuyan brandished his war god spear and tried to strike, but Chen Daorang managed to dodge it, albeit with a slight scratch. The intense battle spirit between them shocked both of them. Zhu Wuyan took the opportunity to flee, shouting, "Thanks for the hospitality." Furious, Chen Daorang exclaimed, "Don't run if you have the guts." He was about to pursue Zhu Wuyan but was stopped by Luo Qingchen, who said, "Don't chase after them. These two can escape from us, so they must be strong." Chen Daorang calmed down and realized that he had encountered such a powerful enemy outside unexpectedly. "I can't even compare to senior sister. Can these punks outside still bully me? Senior sister, I have to take this seriously. I must obtain the inheritance of the Spirit Clan to prove that our Xintian Emperor clan is the strongest." Meanwhile, in the 9 Deaths and 1 Life realm, a group of people were riding on several male lions, heading forward. They turned out to be from the Haoyue Kingdom. When the king learned that not only had the soul-eating pearl been stolen but also the Starfall map had been given away, she immediately rebuked them and ordered them to bring it back. "Your Majesty, we can't do that. If we anger that powerful figure, he might wipe out our country with a wave of his hand. But if we don't get it back, Haoyue Kingdom will be destroyed by others." They continued their search in the 9 Deaths and 1 Life realm, but were stopped by a cat on their way. The diamond male lion directly patted it away. The king clapped his hands in approval. What makes a stray cat worthy to play with a noble lion? However, they regretted it the next second. A thud resounded twice. A huge roar echoed through the sky. 2 noble and pure-blooded great demons, the Shadow Wolves, appeared before them. It turned out that the little cat just now was their child, but now they couldn't spare any time for shock. Duan Muley gave the order directly, "Don't be afraid. The bloodline of the Diamond Lion is also strong. Go!" However, what happened next was beyond everyone's expectations. The 3 Diamond Lions directly defected. They crouched cutely in front of the Shadow Wolves, barking twice and wagging their tails. At this point, they were already powerless to resist the terrifying pressure. The king fell to his knees with a bang. Suddenly, a voice came, "Don't be rude to guests. They are guests of Patriarch. Do you want to be neutered by Patriarch?" The 3 turned their heads to look, and it turned out to be the world's #1 great demon, the purple shadow sparrow, standing with someone on its back. The Shadow Wolves that were just imposing earlier fled directly, but the person's next words shattered their worldview. "Are you 3 here to find my master? You've got the wrong place. This is just my master's litter box." The king Realm Strong referred to him as master, and he said this desert is just a litter box. Their brains stopped functioning. Arriving at Patriarch's residence, Duan Muley looked disgusted. The spiritual energy of this place is not great. But soon, she screamed repeatedly, I broke through with such rich spiritual energy. How did this happen?" Old One looked at them with a grin. "Guest, you encountered the steam from the sauna room. Your Majesty, I told you that this powerful person is not on the same level as you. They won't even look at us. Let's just go home." But she is the owner of the world's top material country. Even though her face is still flushed, how could we give up now? The next second, she suddenly burst into tears. The iceberg fruit tree, a top-quality spirit medicine weighed by the pound, thousands of acres of legendary melting mountain water lotus, and the 9-turn golden peng fruit, which has been turning for 1,000 years, are all considered garbage by him. Duan Muley quickly adjusted her mindset. It's just that his resources are better than mine. If necessary, I can use myself as a bargaining chip. After all, I am the most beautiful person in the world. Even though this tactic is terrible, it is indeed popular. At this moment, countless thunderbolts sounded in the sky, and a figure appeared. They stared dumbfounded at the perfect body holding a barbell while working out. "Weren't you the ones who saved my juniors back then? It seems that I owe you a favor, then tell me what you want." The 3 of them had already crashed. This person was actually using the Black Thunder Bull Python at the King Realm level to train his arm strength. And in terms of temperament and looks, Your Majesty can't compare at all. Duan Muley was completely convinced. To make someone as powerful as him owe a favor, you are the greatest hero of our Haoyue country in history. Chen Daorang tracked down the spiritual clan inheritance all the way here, but as soon as he appeared, he was surrounded. Before the spiritual tomb opened, he wanted to enter before our major sections. Does he not consider us at all? They thought that with the guidance of the Starfall map, they would be the first ones. Unexpectedly, this place has been occupied. At this moment, someone flew out of the crowd. Who are these insignificant people? Do you not know if the order of entry has been arranged? Hurry up and report your name. I'll rank you, but remember to have your elders kneel and thank me. No, who are you? We are from which sect and clan? You are not qualified to know. Although he was publicly challenged, there are many sects here, so he, as an elder, cannot directly lash out. How dare you? You don't even know the largest sect in the world. Hanma Yudru, you're 8 years old this year. As the strongest newcomer in our sect, take care of them. A young man with a ghostly back stepped forward. It seems I must teach you old-timers a lesson. Suddenly, 2 people on the ground caught Chen Daorang's attention. It was the duo of leg thieves, Zhu Wuyan. Senior sister, I'll go get revenge now. Chen Daorang, don't be rash. We don't know their strength yet. This completely ignored Hanmayujiru's actions and thoroughly angered him. "You scoundrels! You don't take me, the top newcomer, seriously? Have you considered the cost of ignoring me? I'll use the dragon-slaying sword to slaughter you all, you worthless dogs." Legend has it that this is a legendary spiritual weapon that was made famous at Starbucks. Using such a treasure to kill ants is like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. The bigwigs of the sect also take advantage of the opportunity to show off. After all, we are the largest sect in the world. It's standard practice to give newcomers a top-quality weapon. Heh. Finally, all the sects in the world have gathered together. Of course, we need to find a reason to show off. Hanmayujiru, hurry up and kill these garbage. At this time, Zhu Wuyan had just woken up. After escaping from Chendaorang, he had arrived here early. Oh my god, did the guy we owed money to last night show up? What a petty person. Can't we just eat a few legs of his? After being played last time, Chendaorang didn't dare to be careless. He took out a huge stick from his pocket. "What do you mean you only ate a few legs?" This scene caused everyone to burst out laughing. What kind of garbage sect is this? Their weapon is just a broken wooden stick. Hanmayujiru raised the dragon-slaying knife high. "Even a poor and inferior trash like you dare to show off in public. Die for me." But suddenly the dragon-slaying knife shattered instantly. Both the person and the knife were hammered away. The entire crowd was stunned. Only a huge stick covering the sky and the sun was seen. It slammed down with a loud bang. The explosion echoed throughout the scene. It turns out that Chendaorang had just enlarged a tree branch and accidentally hit Hanmayujiru with it. Who can he reason with now? This power is probably beyond that of a top-quality artifact. Compared to this, the dragon-slaying knife is simply garbage. Chendaorang looked at the scene before him with great pride. But the next moment, they were all shocked. This person actually flew out unharmed. "We just wanted to eat a few legs. Was there a need to cause such a commotion? Looks like I have to return the favor. God of War, Overlord Spear, here we go again." But it's so huge. The #1 sect in the world has gone completely crazy. What kind of ghostly tool is this hoe? Hanmayujiru, the strongest creature on the surface, stood up after being knocked down in the distance. "So what if your weapon is good? I have a ghost-back steel bone body. This little bit of damage is nothing." Just as he finished speaking, he flew up again. Zhu Wuyan's attack hit him directly. The light waves kept washing over his body, and he flew off again in a spiral. What is this now? Hanmayujiru, holding the top-grade spiritual weapon dragon-slaying knife in his hand. At this moment, he begged his master to take him home. The 4 legendary battle bodies appeared in the sky. The hoe and the stick have become equipment that surpasses the extreme quality. The leader's brain of the #1 sect in the world is already calculating. Luo Qinshan saw the thief who stole and dared to fight back. In a fit of anger, he transformed into the great Sun Yan god body. Live like a flame, die like a fire, burn the heavens and flame slash. Suddenly, a phoenix cried out in the sky. The #1 sect in the world trembled in fear. Zhu Wuyan looked at the overwhelming flames with a disdainful expression. What's the use? Just avoid it. Suddenly, his eyes became hollow. His Lingtong unexpectedly intervened at this critical moment. "Humph, you want to leave? This is the great sun divine flame. Your mortal body will die if it touches it." Zhu Wuyan's body was imprisoned in place. A figure suddenly stepped forward. He opened his arms and stood in front of him. "Little brother, don't panic. I feel that we have an inexplicable destiny. Let me, Uncle Qingpeng, block this move for you." A scream echoed throughout the spiritual tomb. The body fell directly from the air. Zhu Wuyan also recovered his body at this time. "Fatty, what are you doing?" Only Luo Qinshan stood proudly. "Fighting without mercy, this is the price of your arrogance." This scene completely aroused Zhu Wuyan's battle garb. "Fatty, I remember this kindness. I will definitely avenge you." But the next second he was ecstatic. "Ah, it's okay, it's okay. Uncle Qingpeng, I'm sleeping here." "Fatty, you're not dead?" "Why would I be dead?" My master said. "No matter what pain you experience, as long as you sleep well, the pain will disappear with the dream." Before he finished speaking, the flames on his body had already gone out. Chendaorang and Luo Qinshan looked at this scene in surprise. "Senior sister, your great sun divine flame actually went out." Only Luo Qinshan knew that it didn't go out, it disappeared inexplicably. Originally, this was one of the ancient battle garbs, the Sleepy Buddha battle garb. Since the appearance of Zhu Wuyan, the head of the largest sect in the world, his mouth seems to have never closed, either in shock or on the way to being shocked. Moreover, this Sleepy Buddha battle garb is said to gain cultivation just by sleeping and has invincible defense during sleep. What's the strongest creature on the surface? It's nothing compared to this. This has completely ignited the fighting spirit of the 4 people. Chendaorang unleashes all 4 Thunderbolt bodies. "In that case, if you choose to be our enemy, let your ancestor come and collect the corpses." Zhu Wuyan's war god battle garb is fully activated. Although fighting is troublesome, I want to see if you can withstand a few moves from me. Luo Qingchen is not falling behind either. She activates her Great Sun Yang god battle garb. Isn't it to see if you can withstand a few moves from us? You guys are no match for us. Of course, this lively scene couldn't be without the fat guy. The Sleepy Buddha battle garb is fully activated. Little brother, rest assured. If they dare to bully you with their numbers, I'll help you. Suddenly, the 4 shadow images of the 4 great fierce beasts converge in the sky. The collision of their oppressive forces alone is deafening, and the people on the ground dare not approach. What kind of monsters are these newcomers? Each one has such good equipment. At this moment, Han Mayudru's voice comes from the side. Master, I want to go home. Patriarch now kneels directly in front of the woman and claims to be a commoner who can be at her disposal. It turns out that the Great Wu nation is his descendant's power. 10,000 years ago, Great Wu unified the North Wilds and has now fallen into a small country, constantly facing the annexation of the North's largest country, Great Zhou. The Haoyue nation was supported by Great Wu to rise, so the woman in front of them went through countless hardships to find him and get the Starfall map in an attempt to obtain the inheritance of the spirit race and then assist Great Wu. After learning the news, Chen Xian triggered the system task to save the successor of the Great Wu host, but he couldn't directly intervene. The reward was a one-time combat field, so he immediately decided, this map won't be given to you. Chen Xian, the commoner, pays respects to the king of Haoyue country and declares himself as the king's servant. You can command me as you wish. Chen Xian's clever move frightened everyone present. Great power, the people exclaimed. What are you doing? The queen asked, incredulous. How dare she become Chen Xian's king? So Chen Xian explained, no, your majesty. Instead of you inheriting and guarding the Great Wu, it's better to let me become your subject and directly protect the Great Wu. Isn't that better? The queen couldn't believe her ears and called it impossible. Chen Xian calmly replied, it's nothing, your majesty. The Great Wu was created by me 100,000 years ago. This way, I can protect my descendants. The queen was finally relieved from her shock. Legend has it that 100,000 years ago, the Great Wu had a founding patriarch. Could Chen Xian be him? So, she decided to take Chen Xian to see the Great Wu. Meanwhile, inside the Great Wu dynasty, the little princess Wan Qing was being choked by the king of Dezhou, who held her by the neck with one hand. You Great Wu people are still resisting. Is this your vow to never surrender the power of the dragon vein? My little princess Wan Qing? It turns out that in the Hongmeng continent, where the martial arts prevail, people with cultivation talents can form cultivation organizations. Once they reach their peak, they can massacre ordinary people with ease. The only way out for ordinary people is to join the empire. Although the members of the empire are also ordinary people, they have the power to fight against cultivators, the dragon vein power. However, only emperors can control the dragon vein power. There were cases where cultivator forces massacred the people of a dynasty, but eventually, the king single-handedly annihilated the entire force. Therefore, no matter how strong a cultivator may be, they cannot resist the dragon vein power of an emperor. But the dynasty also had its flaws. The dynasty could only have one emperor who possessed the power of dragon veins, and the cost of using it was the emperor's life. So when the king of the Great Zhou dynasty mastered the talent to cultivate, he aggressively expanded his desire for the dragon vein power of the world, and Great Wu was his last stop. What the emperor lacked most was longevity. As long as the princess surrendered the power of the dragon veins, he was willing to grant her the talent to cultivate. Moreover, he had already cultivated a 1,000-year lifespan and become a powerful king realm expert. If the princess refused, he would decide to kill all the people of Great Wu. The ministers on the side quickly spoke up, saying that the princess could not surrender the power of the dragon veins. If she did, the Great Zhou would control Great Wu. You would also die. Despite the threat, he did not hesitate any longer. He immediately gathered energy in his right hand, preparing to kill them. At the critical moment, the princess suddenly erupted with energy, which slowly dissipated in the man's hand. A white divine dragon appeared in the sky. Ha ha ha. Finally, it has emerged. The only young princess sacrificed her life to activate the power of the dragon veins in order to save Great Wu. But in the face of such an attack, the other side remained calm and even ridiculed her. How ridiculous! Do you, a young dragon, think you can defeat me? Before he could finish speaking, the princess directly killed him. The princess was also about to die from exhaustion of her life force. The ministers looked at everything with sadness, but suddenly they looked behind them in horror. Ha ha! Who said I was dead? I am the Dragon Slayer personally appointed by the Great Zhou, and I have collected dozens of dragon vein powers for the Great Zhou. How could I die easily? Seeing the enemy resurrected, the ministers were incredulous. How could there be someone who survived the hit from the dragon veins? Now was not the time for them to be shocked, as the opponent had already come to kill. He delivered a fatal punch to the princess, and his body immediately began to expand as he repeatedly kicked the dying princess. Do you know the benefits of a long lifespan? The ministers helplessly watched the scene unfold. Don't do it! The princess's remaining lifespan was limited, and another hit would undoubtedly be fatal. At this final moment, the princess helplessly gazed at her enemy. Haha, die for me! His body continued to expand, and it seemed as though he was going to self-destruct, but suddenly, he was slapped and sent flying. The explosion reverberated throughout the sky. As it turned out, Chen Xian had finally arrived and intervened just in time. The ministers watched in disbelief as they looked up at the sky. Do you really think you can take down the Great Wu with just you? They turned toward the sound and saw that it was the king of Haoyue Kingdom. Why are you here? If you interfere, the Great Zhou will destroy your country. Little did they know that the person in front of them was none other than the Patriarch Chen Xian. Now, you should be worried about Great Zhou being destroyed. It was only then that they remembered. Could it be from 10,000 years ago? Suddenly, Chen Xian looked up at the sky in surprise. The enemy, who had just been blown to pieces, had miraculously been reborn. Haha, who is this Shantian Emperor? Even the Jade Emperor couldn't kill me. I made a contract with 10,000 of my country's warriors. Each time I die, it is borne by my warriors. Just now, I consumed one warrior. Now, I'll detonate 100 and kill you all. No wonder he had always used suicide attacks. Since that's the case, please take the princess and escape. However, Chen Xian remained calm and collected. Ask the queen next to him, where is their country? After learning that it was in the northwest region, he unexpectedly claimed he could solve it in 10 seconds. Do you think you can solve me in 10 seconds? What a joke! Now gather 100 people's lifespan power, and I can almost blow you up in 10 seconds. All of you, come at me. But suddenly, he had an angry look and sensed that something was wrong. It seemed that something had appeared in the kingdom's sky. His divine sense quickly returned, and he was shocked by the sight in front of him. What is this? Suddenly, his face became ferocious, and a huge rule force hand appeared above his country's sky. With a loud bang, the entire country was destroyed by a single palm, and tens of thousands of warriors disappeared. His divine sense quickly returned to his body, but it was too late. With a loud bang, everyone looked up at the sky in amazement. Chen Xian even raised a protective shield to prevent debris from falling. It's done. This country has disappeared from the map. The citizens of Great Wu trembled in fear, amazed that someone could destroy a country with such ease. Is it really His Majesty Shantian? Only now did the queen realize what had happened and was grateful that she had not acted recklessly. So, Your Majesty, give me the next command. Well, then please cure Wan Qing quickly. Yes, Your Majesty. The system had long been raging. I give up. How do you always find a way to glitch the system? But Chen Xian just smiled and said, System, I didn't do anything directly. I just followed His Majesty's orders. Chen Xian poured out a lake of jade spring divine brew and let Wan Qing, who had turned into a dragon, rest and heal in it. The queen reminded from the side, Great power, although you have the Yuchuan divine brew, which is rich enough to rival a country, it's useless. The poison dragon resentment in the little princess is from the Great Zhou dynasty. It was created by the medical god for the foolish ruler 100,000 years ago. Once poisoned, as long as the power of the dragon vein is used, it will accelerate the consumption of life. Apart from the medical god's divine silk holy heart needle, there is no other way. But the only holy heart needle was taken away by the medical god to another continent long ago. The queen cried out in despair, but the next second she looked at Chen Xian in shock. Chen Xian was surrounded by 9 divine needles. How did you know there is only one divine silk holy heart needle? Patriarch, you have the divine silk holy heart needle, and you have 9 of them. Chen Xian then explained, the medical god you mentioned was my disciple 100,000 years ago, and he was the worst student I ever taught. Originally, there were 10 divine needles, but he was too incompetent and only learned 1, and he actually harmed his own people. Next time I see him, I will kick him. Everyone was shocked. The medical god was also a disciple of the great power, and in the eyes of Patriarch, he was just a bad student. Chen Xian manipulated the divine needles and came to Wan Qing. Don't be afraid, Wan Qing. I am your Patriarch from 100,000 years ago, and now I will remove the poison dragon resentment for you. On the other side of the spiritual clan's tomb, Zhu Wuyan and the others were fighting fiercely. Is it really necessary to keep fighting just for a leg? Which traitor's disciples are you? It must be the Taiwan Sect. Scrounging and penny pinching, so disgusting. I wonder if Chen Xian will be angry when he hears this, but Chen Daorang couldn't bear it anymore. How dare you insult my Patriarch? Your master is the penny pinching scrounger. That's right, your entire sect are all penny pinching scroungers. Idiots. The #1 sect in the world looked on in confusion. Their eyes couldn't keep up with their movements. They could only cry out, "Stop it. Don't fight anymore. If you keep fighting, the spiritual tomb won't open, and we will all be wiped out." Suddenly a voice came from the spiritual tomb. "Silence. No more insolence. I am the guardian of the spiritual clan's tomb, responsible for supervising every test. I hereby announce that anyone who can reach the depths of the tomb will receive supreme fortune and inheritance. The top of the vine is the entrance to the tomb. Please enter at your own discretion. I declare that the spiritual clan's tomb is officially open." The four were interrupted and a little confused, but the people below were overjoyed. "Ha ha ha, the spiritual tomb is finally open. We have survived."